Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video where today we're going to be taking a look at these right here. These are the Sandmarc hybrid filters for smartphone filmmaking and photography. So for the price of £129, let's see what you get and if these are actually worth the money. When you receive them, you will get a Velcro soft carry case. Inside here, you will get 3 filters, an ND16, an ND32, and an ND64. And all 3 of these filters are polarizers as well. You also get a clip which the filters screw onto, and this allows you to connect it to any phone, not just an iPhone. And this whole kit does feel quite high quality as the filters are made from aluminium and the glass is multi-coated. The clip that it comes with is plastic, but the thread is actually made from aluminium, so you don't have to worry about it cross-threading and messing up the filters. And the inside of the clip is made from rubber on both sides. When we put it onto our phone, it feels like it's properly going to grip it and not easily fall off at all. And I feel like this clip is actually really user friendly, as I can quickly and easily clip it on and off my phone without having to deal with a big bulky case with the filters attached to it. This also means that I can easily unclip it and put my phone in my pocket. And being a clip means it can pretty much fit any smartphone you put it onto. So if you're like me and you upgrade your phone pretty much every year, you're not buying into a filter on a case and then be stuck with that case once you upgrade your phone and not be able to use your filters on your new phone. Being on a clip means that we can put it onto any phone, so every time you upgrade your phone you can bring the filters with you and not be left with some weird old bulky case for an old phone you no longer use anymore. Also, another thing that I really like about these filters, and you can tell they've really thought about it, is if you have other accessories from Sandmarc, for instance their anamorphic lens. If you actually want to see a review of this anamorphic lens, click the link up here. Click the link up here to go and check that out. But what I was going to say is these filters actually have the same thread as their other lenses they sell. So you can actually screw these ND polarizing filters straight onto their other lenses, which is actually a really nice touch. And if you're wondering about the name and why is it called a hybrid filter, that is because it's an ND filter and a polarizing filter built in one. So your ND filter you determine by the actual number, so 16, 32 or 64, depending on how much light you want to stop coming through onto that camera sensor. And then on the front of it you have a spinning polarizer, and that is the same on all of them. They all have a polarizer on the front of them. Basically, to put it simply, ND filters are like sunglasses for your camera. It helps to reduce the amount of light hitting your camera's sensor. And this is very important if you want to take better pictures and video and be in control of the overall look and feel of your footage. So if you don't use any filters and just use the normal native camera app built into your phone, the phone and the app is going to automatically choose what that final image is going to look like. It will automatically choose your exposure, your white balance and your shutter speed. If you want to be in control, then you need to be able to choose the settings you want, and you want to control the amount of light going into the camera to basically put the right settings in for that final image you actually see fit for it, rather than the actual built-in phone, the built-in app choosing it all for you. For instance, if we're filming, then we definitely want to put an ND filter onto our camera to reduce the amount of light hitting the camera sensor. This is because we actually want it to look cinematic. We want to obey by some of the cinematic film rules, and one of them is the 180-degree shutter speed rule. That basically means that if we're filming, say at 25 frames, we want to double that number and that will be our shutter speed. So 25 frames a second, our shutter speed should be 1/50th of a second. If we don't have an ND filter on, the way that it's not going to overexpose the image would be to ramp up our shutter speed to something very high, which means that the actual image is going to have natural looking motion blur. It's going to look very sharp and very choppy, which is okay for kind of some footage, but if you really want to make it look cinematic, we want to put an ND filter on it, control the shutter speed to actually get the correct exposure and get that correct looking motion blur. And if you're filming at 24 frames a second, then you want to use 1/48th, 25 frames you want to use 1/50th, and 30 frames you want to use 1/60th for the shutter speed. This was shot using the automatic setting, and if we actually look at it, the image looks okay, but it does seem very sharp and kind of stuttery, especially when the cars are driving around. If we take the same shot but use an ND filter and choose the correct shutter speed, as you can see now, everything seems to be a lot more smoother and a lot more cinematic. But one thing to point out here is that pretty much every built-in camera app on a mobile phone does the shots automatically. There's no real manual settings to be able to control the image. So if you actually want to do that and control the image and control the correct shutter speed, you need to use a third-party app, for instance Filmic Pro. Now this app is a really great bit of software that you can go in and you can really change the exact settings you want to see in the image. For instance, the exposure, the shutter speed, the white balance. You can really choose what you want to get that natural looking motion blur, the cinematic look. You can do that with Filmic Pro. You can't really do that with the built-in app. So you'll definitely want to pair these filters with the Filmic Pro app. And if you're wondering what is a polarizer is similar to an ND filter. It still kind of filters out some of the light going through to the camera sensor, but is normally used to stop reflections on water and reflections on glass, so you can actually see through the water or see through the glass without having that really white glare. And it will also help to increase the saturation and the vibrancy of the image. For instance, it will help to make a blue sky pop a little bit more, and that is a good thing in my eyes because I live in England and it's mid-November and it's pretty much grey all the time. So any help I can get to make the sky look a little bit more blue is a good thing in my eyes. And if you want me to create a video about the Filmic Pro app and go into a little bit more detail and show you the real settings of that app, let me know in the comment section down below. So overall, I actually do like these filters and I feel like they do make a difference when filming on a mobile phone. They don't look cheap and they don't feel cheap and plasticky and flimsy, which is a good thing. The only thing that feels slightly cheap is the actual plastic clip itself. The actual build quality of these is the main thing and they do feel nice and high quality. Having this carry case is a really nice touch, as well as it does feel like it's going to protect them when you're chucking it into a camera bag or into a suitcase, or when we're just going to be putting it into our pockets and going out onto a little bit of a day mission, filming and taking pictures on our mobile phones. Also, there isn't a section in the case to keep the clip, so I tended to keep mine clipped to the outside. Also, be slightly wary when you're using the polarizer when filming, because your fingers can get into shot, and also it is quite loud when you're turning it, so you want to set it up before you press record. And some of you might be thinking £129 for some filters to put onto a mobile phone is a lot of money, and yes, don't get me wrong, £129 for some filters is a lot of money, but they're not for the average Joe. They're not for the person who's just gone on holiday, taken a few holiday snaps and selfies. This is for like the smartphone professional filmmaker and photographer. You put these filters on your mobile phone, your footage, your images is going to look instantly better. Pair these filters with the third-party app, for instance Filmic Pro, and a stabilizer, then this kit is going to make you unstoppable in the smartphone photography and filmmaking world. But anyway, that's enough from me, and now I'd love to know what you think of these filters in the comment section down below. And if you want to find out any more information, I will also link this in the description down below. I should also say thank you to Sandmarc, who actually did send me these filters, but this isn't a paid review, this is a honest, unbiased review of these filters. So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have found it interesting and informative, please give it a big fat thumbs up, as it means so much to me. And if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. And until next time, keep on creating.